Guys, how are we? Welcome to Two Minds Drink Alike, episode 4. Today we're joined by Kieran. Kieran is a business owner. He owns Focacceria. We're going to find out a little bit about his background story. How did he start making bread? How did he end up in Focacceria? Focacceria is a furniture store. Well, no, it's not a furniture
restaurant
store.
And a furniture
store. It's a restaurant
store.
and a furniture store, yes. So we're going to talk about all that.
Yeah, if you don't mind telling us a little bit about your journey, how you started the Focacceria, and how you're here now.
Well, the Focacceria came about, like everything I've done, by accident. I started cooking and baking actually when I lived in Glasgow. I used to work, I've worked in retail for years and years here in Belfast, and then moved to Glasgow after just getting a bit fed up, and got a job there for Aga.
Okay, nice,
big range cookers. And it's just a big showroom. It's really quiet because the things are like 15 grand, and you sell one once every couple of weeks.
Way too much money. I don't mind price range.
So they save very much mine as well. But you would never see a customer, and you'd have all these ovens that are on all the time. So I used to just cook all day, cook and then bake.
Not a bad job, eh?
Yeah. So my boss hated me. I was always leaving a mess around the place.
What type of things were you cooking in that oven at the time? Was it?
Well, a lot of breakfast. I was just getting in there, like
just getting used to them.
Eaten properly yet. But it was just whatever was kind of like exciting me at the time.
Yeah.
It was never. And then eventually I kind of discovered sourdough, and I was given a book. I was loaned a book called Tartine. Okay. And I taught myself from that.
Is that because you had so much time for the sourdough? You were kind of what's going to get me through the week?
Yeah, because I would read the thing and go, God, you need to do it for how long? And then I'd be like, oh, I'm at work. So I kind of taught myself to cook and bake there, and then that led up to COVID, and I was furloughed from that job, and I'd already been sort of selling the odd loaf from the shop, actually, from the shop. And then when we were furloughed, I decided to try and do something with it, and then went from the Aga shop to my kitchen at home in Mount Florida in Glasgow, and I was selling loaves from there. Like, you do a wee WhatsApp text to me, and I would then drop you a wee loaf around a day or two later.
What'd you do, just post it through the letterbox?
I would basically pop it in a wee brown paper bag, in a plastic bag, and then hang it over the door handle, and give you a wee knock, or maybe just give you a text so I don't have to chat to you, and you just scamper out of the way. And I would get a text back often saying, that's gone already.
So good feedback, like good reviews and stuff?
Well, people, that was the time when we were just waiting around for anything to happen. So if I turned up at your door with a wee 1 kilo brick of gluten, you were really excited.
I wish they could happen now.
Exactly. So that's kind of where it started from. And then I eventually moved home from Glasgow. And I'm more of a cook than a baker. So having this good bread, I decided I want to do a bit of everything and cook things to go on.
So as soon as you came back to Belfast, was it like you wanted to look for like a chef job, or did you want to go into that game of?
Well, I'd have built up a lot of different equipment that I needed, that at the very start in Glasgow, like, I couldn't get. And then having had all that, I was like, okay, if I have another go, I'm sort of starting sort of a couple of steps along the line. And I tried to get a little small store, a shop front somewhere. Couldn't get one because I didn't really have any proper business behind me. And then I found these like units you could just rent month to month, which is these shipping.
For someone like starting off making bread, like, have you got any tips for them? And have you got like any not do this, do not
be careful. It's what you really, really, really want to do or not. it's really
difficult whenever you're actually doing it.
It's really difficult. Like, bread's important to the people you're going to supply it to. So and it's just such a difficult thing to make. Like, you're always on.
And what was your first batches like? Were they?
Oh, if I see photos of them now, like, it's funny how good they were in a way, but it's like they're awful.
I feel like when you look back at like where you start and where you are now, like you go, I thought that was amazing.
Well, the book that I taught myself from, Tartine, whenever I got my bread to look exactly like the front cover of that was actually an Insta post, like comparing the two. It was like, I felt like I was getting somewhere.
Nice.
There's this just like blistering bubbles, caramel kind of autumnal colours in the front of the book, and my loaf was sitting next to it.
No filter, nothing, just
no filter.
Brilliant.
No.
I've had a good few attempts at trying to make bread, and it's not easy.
No, it's definitely
takes a lot it's which I don't have. No. I'm like, it's good, just put it all in the oven.
Emily hasn't even got patience for jelly.
And it comes off like, mine was just like a big thing of like hard dough.
Well, I do bread classes, so I'll have to bring these in and do a wee bread class someday.
I definitely need it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So then how did you go from, so you were in the shipping container as 100th Monkey bread. Where did you get the name from? Or what kind of came about that brand?
So the name comes from like a documentary that I love called Collapse. I'll not tell you the full story because it'd take too long.
Yeah.
Take up your whole episode.
Okay.
But
Is there 100 stories to it?
well, the documentary is called Collapse. Go and watch it. I think it's like on YouTube. You'll be able to find it in other places. It's about this guy called Michael Rupert. It's just really interesting. And at the very end of the documentary, he tells the 100th monkey story.
Okay.
And I just put bakery at the end of that because I just really liked it. And then when I was in the shipping container, I was just making sourdough breads and then doing stuff with them. So I was making bagels, sourdough tin loaf, just different things. And if I had tried to do that in the space I eventually moved into, like, it just wouldn't have worked. So I didn't want to bring exactly the same brand with me.
I get asked quite a lot. I get asked, like, if there was one thing you could eat for the rest of your life, what would it be? I always say potatoes, but now you're talking about bread. You can do so much with bread as well.
It's chip buddies then, isn't it?
Yeah.
It has to be a chip buddy.
So you kind of wanted to move in. So we went from the shipping container and you wanted to move into a bigger space. Or was there a reason that you had to move?
No, the shipping, so it was, they're called dark kitchens. There was like 10 of them at one point, but they were just like, they were movable. So there was, I think it was 4 or 5 by the time they closed the whole site down, but they gave me a week's notice. And I was doing a pop-up from there, sort of residency really in the John Hewitt. So I needed that space to prep my burger buns, my chips, my other things. And yeah, when that happened, I made a wee video, put it up on my Instagram saying, shit.
Someone help?
Yeah, if anybody knows of anything, I don't know what I need, but if anybody knows of anything.
Yeah.
And the guys that own House Proud, they saw the video and were like, look, if you want to come and see this.
So in your DMs, it was just said House Proud, and you're like, what?
Yeah, like we're a furniture, because I was on Boucher Road already and I didn't know about this place further up Boucher Road. And then I was like, furniture shop, like, I don't really, but okay, I'll go up and have a look. And then as soon as I saw the space, I was like, oh, okay, well, I can do so many things in here.
And that's just marketing, like, from the start, like, before you even look at that, like, it's just marketing, it's classic.
Yeah,
when I seen it, I thought that was the best thing since sliced bread.
Just something different.
Yeah, that's it. I have to lean into the fact that it is a weird space. It's not like a common place for that kind of thing to happen. But then it allows me to do things I wouldn't be able to do. Like, I live on Ormer Road. If I had a wee small unit on Ormer Road, there's so many things that I do in the Focacceria I couldn't do. So I kind of was leaning into all the benefits of it.
So that was kind of the change of going from the 100th Monkey Bread Bakery to Focacceria, was able to focus on like more dishes.
Well, no,
using
Focacceria was basically to tell anybody that knew of me before, like, look, this is not the same thing.
Okay,
I'm not doing all the same breads I was before, like all the weird things like my sourdough puff pastry, sausage rolls, and all these kind of things. I just didn't have the time to make that amount of food for a larger space.
That was the thing, like when I first met you, she was like, oh, that's 100th Monkey. And I was like, but then you've really created a brand now that's like the Focacceria. Like it's just do one thing and do it right and do it great.
So it's the Focacceria by the 100th Monkey Bakery. I still, there's so many other wee ideas that are going to sort of fill in underneath it. It's like the Focacceria, but there's going to be the pizzeria. There's going to be loads of
we'll
things eventually. Hopefully, one day.
And tell me about the chips. Because I just see the chips everywhere, like people are raving about them, like on TikTok.
So that pop-up in the John Hewitt is maybe just before the pop-up happened. I can't remember, but it was 4 then anyway. I was doing burgers and chips, and I couldn't do triple cooked chips in a big enough volume to like
cater.
Yeah, to then also have burger buns to make from scratch and everything else to try and get ready.
And was this just you?
Just me. I was a one-man band up until the Focacceria.
Very good.
The chips were basically a workaround for me not to have to do all of the initial parts of the triple cook process. I was like, oh, there's like baked mashed potato. You ever had baked mash before? It's just a better version.
Wait, like a baked potato?
You bake the potato, you put it through a potato ricer or a sieve, and then you add in your butter and a bit of cream or milk. And that's like making mash with baked potatoes is a better way of doing it, more restaurant way. So I was like, oh, I wonder if I could use that theory to make chips. And then we bit of a mad scientist.
Was that knowledge that you had before, or did you do a bit of research on it?
I wouldn't even say knowledge. I kind of got that from like cooking shows. It was either Tom Kerridge. I think it was a Tom Kerridge show. And even, oh God, I can't remember. The guy who presented Saturday Kitchen before, James Martin did it. I remember him talking about baked mash in a particular dish, and you can't use cooked potatoes.
So this has started as an interest and moved on to like a profession now and like a career, which is really cool. Like your whole career is kind of built on an interest.
Well, I think the people that are really like good at what they do tend to be really, really interested in it. So I'm just like, I'm off to once you put
You're just
something
always
in front
thinking
of
about it.
Yeah, like
I try not
Always
to
thinking
talk,
of new
I try not
ideas
to talk about cocktails, but the amount of times it comes into conversation when I'm with someone, I'm like, geez, I need to stop.
Yeah, even
that,
if they don't bring it up, you kind of like,
it's just all you know, and that's all you want to talk about.
Yeah, food is all I'm really like, not the only thing, but it's what I'm really, really interested and inspired by. And I just
whether in work or at home.
Yeah, I just love being in the kitchen. I love thinking about creating things, and I love the sort of like trying to create really good flavour and texture. That's all I really care about.
Because the potatoes are so like fluffy.
Yeah.
And like you don't need as big of a portion.
No.
Because they are like a little bit bigger and they're
Well,
a little bit
I'm a bit too generous with the portions anyway, I think. But yeah, people keep telling me off for it.
We got to try them at Belfast Whisky Week. We were doing an event in the Watson, and Paul, the organizer,
like, you need to come and try these chips. They're the best chips
He had
ever.
a few of our cocktails, and he was like, right, we're all going to La Focacceria. And I was going, is that place? And I was like, where is it? And he goes, it's in House Proud. I went, Emily, we're going.
But then he was like, you need to try the best chips. And I was like, no, what do you mean? They doesn't do chips.
I was like, I'm here for the bread. And he was like, no, get the chips. And I was like, right.
Well, I've just started recently doing chip buddies at events when I go to events.
Love
so that's like you get a bit of both.
And the food there was just, it was something different. It was a different experience. Like you created a whole different experience for us.
Especially poured of whiskey.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was so nice.
Really cool.
Yeah, well, I spoke to Paul about it before. I was like, how much like, do I need to think about whiskey here? He goes, no, just you do your thing and we'll...
It'll naturally put itself together.
Yeah.
And how was it going from working by yourself to then having to hire a team and work with different people and train people up?
If it's anything like Emily, like when she's interested in something, she's like, she wants to control that and make sure, so it's hard to kind of let that go to someone else.
Yeah,
right?
so you definitely have to get to a stage, especially when I am a bit of a perfectionist, and that's where the chips and different things came from, just being up all night and doing it over and over and over again. You just do have to let things go, and then just try and like bring people along, bring them around to it, just show them where.
Try and show them your vision, but without being.
And kind of share that passion with those people.
But I learn from people watching and doing, especially people doing things. Like you talk to me and I can pick up a lot, but when you do something, I can pick up loads. And you just learn from people working alongside you every day, no matter what it is they're doing. If they're another.
Like it takes sometimes 100 bad things, 100 bad ideas for one great idea to come through, and you're like, that's the one we've been waiting for.
Exactly.
I love
so
that.
having a team to learn from is just really.
And how many are on your team at the minute?
At the minute, so it constantly changes. That's what everyone's issue is with staff. There's budget. So I think
it's so hard to staff somewhere now because one is
4
busy.
or 5 at the minute, I think. No, maybe more. It could be 6 or 7.
That's quite big, actually.
It grows,
I thought it was only going to be like 2 or 3.
2 or 3 left over the last few weeks, but there's 3 or 4 more coming. I can't actually remember now. And some haven't quite started yet. So
but now I think you've got that brand. Like people know, when they apply for that job now, they know what they're getting into. They know it's going to be good bread, and you've kind of created that now. I think it's great.
I remember
at the start, you're trying to show a vision. People can see your vision now.
Yeah, that's it. People are definitely kind of a bit more they see a bit more see a bit of what I see.
Yeah.
Because I saw this and more maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But nobody else could see that. So now people are coming in and going, no, this is whatever, cool, interesting.
You've been educating us as well about olive oil. Like you said, it's like whiskey. There's so much different flavors, different complexities to it, and you brought one today with you. Do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Well, to explain it a bit better, the flour that I use in the restaurant is from a company called Wild Farms, and they're actually started by one of the 2 Groove Armada DJs. One of the 2 Groove Armada DJs is the founder, Andy Cato, and their flour is basically grown in a very different way to most flours. It doesn't use any herbicides, pesticides, or fungicides, and it's just alive. It's just really that's why my breads are what they are, because of how amazing this flour is. And once a year they invite everyone that uses it over to the farm. We used to call it Baker's Day, but there's supermarkets, there's all kinds of people kind of a part of it now. So I forget actually what the new name of it is, but it was Baker's Day 2 years ago when I met Will from Two Fields, and he was chatting away to me about their project. And basically Will and his brother have this company now in Crete.
Can we just talk about how you've just received this after 2 years?
Yeah, so it's very difficult shipping this stuff. Olive oil in general, as Soren behind the camera can tell me a wee story before we started. But yeah, it's very difficult to get it in Ireland. There is one other place that has it, and they use it in a product that they produce, Happy Tumco. But they order in pallets just to go in their recipe.
And you've tried this, what makes it so special? What makes it so good?
It's just It's just a really subtle, really high-end olive oil. It's just got so much flavour, but it's not like overbearing, and you can use a lot of it in your dish. And I love olive oil.
So I'm going to put my hands up. I don't think I've tried any fancy olive oil before, so I'm excited to try this.
We have a fancy one at home. Well, I don't know if it's fancy, but it's not the normal.
Emily's been working on the cocktail as well for this episode.
But I see with this olive oil, like they're more than just producing the olive oil. It seems that they have like a bit of a project going of how they can bring back to the community. Just from like reading the bottle and a little nosy on the website, it seems like they're
so like a bit like Wild Farm. Wild Farm, you can go and like become a Wild Farm farmer. Unlike a kind of organic farm, you need to turn the whole farm into an organic farm, and there's loads of steps to get through to do that. So basically, you just have third-party auditing to check that you're doing things the correct way on that field or that part of the farm. And the guys at Two Fields are going to do something along those lines. They've got a lot of buy-in from local growers, and they are trying to move. There's a while ago now I talked to Will about this, but they move into becoming partially or fully organic, I think, as well. But again, there's sort of hoops and things to jump through for that. But it basically is just a community project, sort of local on the island, and they kind of get to produce this and export it mostly to England. It's difficult getting it over here.
So
everything's always difficult.
Even speaking to you now, it's like this bread is such a traditional thing, and the olive oil is all traditional kind of things that I love. It
reminds me of like making cocktails, like all the different brands out there of like whether it's like a product or like a spirit, but kind of like their story and what they're doing always inspires me to like do something new. It's kind of similar to you with the flour and the olive oil.
Community to that.
Yeah, the story is like what gets you interested and excited, and it's not just
just a product.
It's not just branding and something just put there.
And it's always nice to like, for example, like whenever I would make a cocktail, it's always nice to use like for me it's like local ingredients or like a company that I'm really well connected to. So it's kind of similar to you, like you know exactly what goes in your product and why you chose those things.
And also
what makes
because
it so
they're
special.
local, not just because they're local, because they're great. These are kind of things you look for the top, the best, the creme de la creme that we call it, the best things.
Makes it easier to explain your product.
There's some products that I've used from local companies that are amazing and they'd be like the most commonly used, but I've tried other things and I'm just not a fan. So I don't use it for the sake of using it. I use it because it like my palate
adds something to what you're making.
And then olive oil is just something that we don't Wild Farm doesn't get grown here because we don't grow proper bread flour here. It's just not strong enough, and we definitely don't have olive trees in this,
this climate. Definitely not.
So there are some things that we will import, and then when we do that, you just really want to be very selective about what it is, and also be very excited.
So excited to try this olive oil.
Right, I guess I better make a wee. So we're going to make a wee Titanic martini with a little drizzle of olive oil on top. So thank you.
I'm excited for this too.
So I just recently got these new ceramic, this new ceramic mixing tin and glass. We'll probably speak about that a little bit on our Liquid Minds page over the next few weeks. These are just some samples we received, but I was like too excited not to use them. But the ceramic just keeps like the liquid cold, because glass would kind of like hold heat, whereas the ceramic seems to keep everything quite cold.
It's pretty warm under the lights and stuff here.
And it's going to be like quite an exciting thing to come to Ireland because it's not going to break as easy as glass would. A little bit different, and also it looks class.
Keep an eye out for it.
But sure. So we're going to start off with 50 ml of Titanic vodka. So the Titanic vodka is like a little bit sweet, a little bit floral, but a little bit more complex compared to your normal vodka. So start off with 50 ml of that, and then we're going to go in with 10 ml of dry vermouth. Just a nice simple martini for tonight. Pop that in, and then fill it right up with loads of ice.
Can we do that?
Yeah, go for it.
So nice.
It's always hard making a cocktail sitting down. It feels odd.
I know.
I can just imagine trying to make some loaves like this.
Trying to make bread sitting down.
So give that a good big stir. And then we have the nice little ceramic clip as well. So the whole purpose behind this range is that it keeps everything super duper cold and it won't like smash as easily as glass would.
All the products are interconnecting as well, so that you can join them all together when you're on the move or whatever. They're pretty cool. They're all kind of designed.
Super excited. So it's like a new range. It hasn't actually arrived at Belfast yet, but it will soon. Yeah, so it's kind of, we've got loads of new stuff here. But the girl who made it, she's a really cool bartender. So obviously, if a bartender made them, it's going to be a good.
They've made it for
product. Made it for drinks.
Understand what's needed.
And it's like Emily's hands fit perfect for that, right?
No, normally my hands will fit around like the
Emily
chunkier
has to
glass ones.
Right.
So super duper cool. Let's give it one last wee stir. I don't have my proper strainer with me today, but this will be just fine. I'll just pop that in. Looks really nice and thick, so that's a good start.
It's got that texture.
Whenever like you do your martini, whenever it starts to go like super cold, it'll go like a thick kind of mouthfeel. So a lot of people keep everything in the freezer, and it makes it a lot easier. The colder it is, the nicer it is to drink.
Right.
And I actually have done a martini before with a truffle olive oil on top, so it was like a parmesan one. But I do think this will be quite nice. So I'm just going to do like a small little drizzle on top, and then whenever we drink it, we should.
It's got a drizzler, but it drizzles maybe a bit faster. So just see if it's the right speed for you, just
to do like because you don't need too much, but it just adds a nice little.
Also, the aesthetics on it is really cool as well.
Normally the olive oil will add like a tiny little bit of saltiness and like a nice bit of texture as well. But obviously I haven't tried this one before.
So who's going first?
Well, I have to go first just to see if it's nice or not.
Would you like to try?
Of course.
Yeah? All right. Let's try getting a wee bit of the olive oil there on some side.
Almost like a wee tiny bit floral, but it's quite delicious.
It's really good.
I'd actually maybe put a little bit more olive oil, but that was just me.
Well, that's what I'm saying with this stuff.
Top it up a wee bit more of that there.
It's quite subtle, so you can actually get more onto it.
Which is nice, actually,
So that's why you brought it today, because you like usually you can only use a small bit or a rinse a drink.
Some of them can just be very peppery and just a wee bit overbearing, whereas this has got that, but it's not.
But it brings
it's
things
not harsh.
with it.
Yeah.
Yes, I get that. Wee bit of bread on the side.
I was going to say like a wee wee bit of focaccia inside would be great.
That would be amazing.
This is Monday. This is our day closed. So bread today, unfortunately.
Lovely. Well, I'll be making that at home. And do you mind telling us a little bit about like your plans for the Focacceria going forward?
Well, this is the thing I was saying to you, that the Focacceria and everything I've done has kind of been by accident. And I was joking to you beforehand that it's, I don't have a bakery, I've got a mistakery.
So it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Like nothing just fell into place, but it kind of has. But hasn't it?
So I want to do things with intention now, like plan it and just like, okay, right, that's the right idea. Let's move forward. So there's lots of different sort of plans, especially in the space of the Focacceria. Like I want to turn a part of it into a sort of bakery sandwich bar.
I've seen the back, like the space you have there is amazing.
Yeah, well, that's why I really fell in love with it when I first saw it, because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have a restaurant here and I'm gonna have a proper bakery over here, and I want to teach bread classes and host little events in sort of one section of it. So hopefully that's coming very soon.
So how we actually met Kieran was through Sorum. Kieran reached out to him and was like, if they ever want to do something, give them a shout. So hopefully in the future we can definitely work together and get something there. And
do a cocktail night.
Definitely.
Keep your eyes
have the
peeled for
bread
that.
and this.
Yeah, exactly.
Next time you just want to come along and try it. Be really cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what we could do, like a.
If you have any ideas, give us a shout.
Well, we've just had a coffee machine installed. Again, something if you open in a restaurant, you probably want to have that at the start. Yeah. But we were accidentally.
I love how you really plan it. Like, you know, you wouldn't do something if you didn't have everything to do it right. Like, I've got that from you. Like,
I wanted.
You're not going to just 50% it. You want to have everything
well,
right.
some things are kind of like done like that because there's no choice, but I would rather wait and do it right than half-ass it.
Yeah.
So we've got a proper coffee machine in a la Marzocco, and I didn't want to get something that
so you held off until you had the right thing.
Yeah, held off till there was enough, like, okay, I can take the risk of
yeah, exactly.
And what sort of oven do you use at the minute?
The ovens are the most important thing to me. They're you'll see
like a coffee shop and a coffee, or a coffee machine and a coffee shop.
It does everything. So I program my oven, I can teach it things, and whenever like all my breads have a recipe, a program in the oven. So
you set all that yourself?
It took me, the loaf, the sourdough loaf took me a couple of years to figure it out. It's all these little, it's like a soundboard, you know, when you're at a gig and there's that big. Yeah. So to me, it's like that. It's like all these little different levers you can pull
just
on.
your time in it and going, right, that needs a wee bit more.
Yeah, so I would create.
So it's like a baby.
I would create a recipe, and then I would copy it 10 times, and I would tweak one thing on it, like ever so slightly, and then I'd bake 10 loaves. And I go, okay, that number 8 was the best one. So I'll take number 8 and I'll multiply it out 10 times. And then I'll tweak it, try and figure out. So I did that with the loaf, with the bagels, with ciabatta, with a few other things. and they all took months and months or a couple of years with the loaf.
Yeah.
And then eventually I was able to sort of get what was needing to be changed with the bakery. So now I could do it like in a day. You could give me a bread and I could go and bake it a couple of times and go, okay, I know what.
I'll give
I
you
know
a
what's
fun
setting
fact
me.
about me, right? My first ever job was in a bakery.
Right.
There you go. So
I didn't believe Jack never told me this. I was
well,
like,
it was
Jack
my work
cannot
experience,
cook to save
right?
his
I
life.
lasted 2 weeks. Used to have to start really late at night to the early morning. I had to make sausage rolls.
Right.
Wasn't very good at it, like, to be fair, but
Well, this is the thing.
Jack is not a good cook.
People hear that I'm a baker. I'm not a baker or a chef, but people hear I'm a baker and they're like, "Oh, you must start it late." Like I don't. I just make it work around when I'm up early.
Do you know
and
your bread? You have to be up at this time to get the bread before.
No, so good bread doesn't need to be made like first thing in the morning because that's bread that doesn't last very long. Like my bread almost needs to be baked for a few hours and then rest, and then you can cut it. Or like some of the breads actually need to be baked the day before, can go through the
But like if
slicer
you're
and cut
out,
well.
would you have you need to get back to the bread?
Yeah, that used to happen all the
Like
time.
back to the child kind of thing. Like, oh, here, I have to
To
shoot
look
on
after
here.
the starter, you know, like you have to stretch and fold the dough over the course of 4 or 5 hours. So you might go, okay, I'll stretch it now, and then if we can go out and go to the bank and go and get my grocery, whatever it is,
Come back.
and you get back for the next one. So,
And what would be like your most popular dish at the minute? Because I remember when we were there, we had like the
Those little
sliced
rolls.
focaccia with the chicken, like a chicken parm.
yeah, so
it was great.
that's, I think for that event we did that as more of a dish, like
We
a
were
knife
fighting
and
over
fork
that.
dish.
Yeah.
But we do that normally as a sandwich, and that's one of the most popular.
Okay, nice.
And then the first sandwich I ever did was a meatball sandwich, which is just cooked off in sugo, which is just tomatoes, really, really good quality tinned tomatoes. And then fior di latte, which is like the sort of slightly firmer melting mozzarella you would get on pizza.
Have you ever had like some weird reactions when people are going in for a sofa and then they walk in and go, what?
Yeah,
Like,
no, loads. Like I've
would
a
love to
few
hear
people
those
that have been
stories.
in, they're not like they've already eaten and they're just like blown away. But
Like,
what's this doing in here?
Like we should have came here before we got the sofa.
Yeah, there's loads of that. Like God, I would love to have tried it. But I've had people. So it's a big kind of like open kitchen, and I'll often get people walking up to the counter going, "Oh God, what's wrong?" And it's always to say how amazing it is. But I'm convinced
Just
that
get-
I'm convinced it's a complaint every single time.
You're the toughest judge. Like,
That's people from Belfast just can't take a
Yeah,
compliment.
well,
doesn't
even
know
a
what
lot
it
of
is.
them aren't. There's-
you're like, oh, thank you so much.
People will come over and go, by the way, I came all the way from wherever to try this and like it was worth it or that kind of stuff. But again, I'm convinced like that, you know, that was underdone or I didn't like your bread, whatever the complaint was going to be. But
And that's what's great about that. Like people are going out of their way to come there. Like they're there for the
Yeah.
focaccia. They are, aren't they? Like, it's
Yeah,
class.
it's different. There's not too many things doing the kind of food that we're doing, and there's definitely going to be sort of baking the breads in the way that we do, sort of to go along with it. So yeah, it's a very unique little operation with everything.
So if you haven't been down, please make sure you get down and try this. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
maybe we'll have a little event coming up sometime soon.
Yes.
Well,
your
probably
eyes
after
open.
all the Christmas madness, but yeah, thank you very much for coming on and
thank you
thanks for
for
sharing
inviting
your story so far.
And the olive oil as well. Like it's it's still there. Like
I'm enjoying this coffee. I might move me back onto the drink.
100%.
Thank you, bye bye.
Good night.
Cheers.
Good night. Good morning. Hello.